There is a new New York Times poll released over the weekend. And the big headline, and it is an accurate headline, is that Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden in major swing states, in 5 critical states, in fact. And dozens of people wrote to me and said, David, you've got to look at this poll. Should we be worried? Should we be worried about this poll? And so that's what we're going to look at. We are going to try to answer that question. Is this a poll that we should be concerned about? So here are the big results. If you look at this new poll from the New York Times, you find that in Nevada, a state that Biden won last time around, Trump is leading by 11. If you look at Georgia, a state that Biden won, Trump is leading by 6. If you look at Arizona, a state that Biden won, Trump is leading by 5. If you look at Michigan, which Biden won, Trump is leading by 5. If you look at Pennsylvania, which Biden won, Trump is leading by 4. And if you look at Wisconsin, which Biden won, Biden is winning there, but by a relatively small margin. So is this a disastrous poll? Obviously, it's not good. At any point that polling is taken, you would rather the person you want to win be leading in the polls. There is no doubt about that. We don't want to sugarcoat that. But there are a number of important caveats here. First of all, when you look at these numbers, a lot of the electorate is missing. What I mean by that is in Nevada, 41 plus 52 is 93. A full 7% of the electorate is not yet in there. You look at Georgia, 43-49, that adds up to 92. There's 8% of the electorate that is not yet there. And part of this is that when you are a year out, as we are right now, it can be difficult to get accurate data. Now, that doesn't mean that the polling isn't reflecting what people are saying based on how they were sampled 3 days ago. That's not what I mean. I just mean that not everything that will influence an election in a year is baked in here. If you look more broadly at polling, you see that it's sort of a mixed bag. You've got Biden winning some, Trump winning some. You can go state by state. You can look at general election polls. It's much closer. But the point here that is most important is Trump could win. Trump could win. So if we need a wake-up call to say it doesn't matter what state you live in, you've got to be registered, you've got to vote, this is a reasonable wake-up call. Now, it's important to also remember Trump's not even the official Republican candidate yet. We are following it really closely, and we know that Trump is the presumptive nominee because he's leading by so much, 60% of the vote. Very hard to imagine anything changes that. Trump is not yet officially the nominee. There are certainly left-leaning voters who, if and when Donald Trump becomes the nominee, will say, I'm getting out there to make sure Trump doesn't become president once again. Trump's talking now about deploying the military to police the streets on day one of his next presidency. We'll talk about that later. This is scary authoritarian stuff. Trump's also facing 91 criminal charges. The trials haven't even started yet, and it's already a disaster. We just don't know how that's going to affect things. Now, I'm not saying the trials will dissuade MAGA hardcore voters from voting Trump, but the trials may well inspire many left-leaning voters who maybe weren't planning to vote to say, I've got to vote. This guy can't be president again. The economy is clearly doing fine, and by some indicators, it's improving, not worsening. That's certainly good for the incumbent. And in terms of this specific poll, there are arguments being made that the partisan split in this poll, in other words, the methodology, is not great. I don't even feel the need to delve into that because then we're nitpicking. We should just look at an average of polls. And if you look at an average of polls, at minimum, this is a very close race. And worst case, Trump may be leading by a couple of points right now. What that means is we all need to activate and we all need to vote and we all need to be involved. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing the show. That's why we're talking about this. So this is politics, okay? If it were just our guy is leading all along and that's it and nobody worries, well, that's never the way that it is. So let's not see this as a reason to say we're throwing in the towel. We see this as a reason to say, oh, we've got a year to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get back in office. And we need to understand why that would be a disaster. And we need to understand what will motivate people to go out and vote to prevent that disaster from taking place. This is politics. We're engaging with the system. We're doing the thing. So let's all remain calm. whether or not the methodology on this New York Times poll is perfect or not, no matter what the situation is, a year out, you cannot say with certainty that these polls will reflect the results in a year. The primaries aren't even over yet. We can say at this point, with voting starting in a few weeks, Trump almost certainly has the nomination wrapped up, unless something changes. But let's figure out who the Republican nominee is officially going to be first, and in how many trials he will be embroiled at the time of the election, before we start with the doom and gloom. So that's where I am right now. I hope that you are subscribed on YouTube. We're going to be here through the election and beyond. We're very close to 2 million subscribers on YouTube. In fact, we're scheduled to get there in about a month, okay? About 30-something thousand away. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We're going to take a break, and really a packed program today. I love my Helix sleep mattress. I've been sleeping on Helix mattresses for years now, which is why I asked them to be a sponsor. You actually take their famous sleep quiz, takes just a few minutes to answer questions about your sleep preferences, body type, sleep position, whether you have back pain, and Helix will match you with a mattress that's perfect for you, which is really unique and helpful because a lot of people don't know where to start when buying a mattress. I certainly didn't. Their newest collection of mattresses, called Helix Elite, come with a built-in Glaciotex layer to keep you cool at night, an extra layer of foam for pressure relief, and thousands of extra microcoils for best-in-class support and durability. All of their mattresses ship right to your door, totally free. They come with a 10 or 15-year warranty, and you get 100 nights to decide if you like it. My audience also gets a whopping 20% off all orders, plus 2 free pillows. Go to helixsleep.com/Pacman and enter code HelixPartner20 at checkout. The link is down below.